So not too long ago, I made a video on why I hated the CRF300L Rally. But to be honest, I kind of contradicted myself. It's not the machine that I hate, but the current situation I am in, and how it could have been a unicorn bike for many of us out here. So I kind of wanted to clarify certain things about the Rally, and why I picked the standard Dualsport for my current situation.
So not too long ago, I released the footage that says why I think the CRF300L Rally sucks. You know, I brought the two-stroke over here just to demonstrate kind of like my purpose of riding and stuff like that. But of course, I kind of contradicted myself because I don't hate the CRF300L Rally. It's actually the situation that I'm in. And once we'll get on the road and stuff like that, it's a perfect example to help demonstrate why I picked the CRF300L normal Dualsport. So why did I pick the CRF300L? Well, perfect example. Right here, I'm exploring. I'm by myself. And I want a reliable bike. This two-stroke is very reliable. However, I'm going to prefer the reliability of the Honda versus the KTM. So why did I pick the CRF300, the normal Dualsport, and not the Rally? I never really gave my explanation why I picked the CRF300L Dualsport versus the CRF300L Rally. Now I know I gave it, I wouldn't say a lot of credit. I love the Rally, and to be honest, the Rally I think is the closest thing we have to a unicorn bike. So a lot of people actually misunderstood me. I'm 230 pounds. Plus, with all the gear that I have right here, I'm probably at 250, 260 pounds with all the water, the drone, all that stuff. And right here, this is 8,000 feet elevation, believe it or not. This is not flat whatsoever. Now, when it comes to the Rally, to be honest, if it was at least a 350cc engine, I think I would have gone with the Rally at that point because I could do a lot more exploring. It has a bigger tank. But being out here in Colorado where highways, a lot of people, like on my truck, you know, I'm going 70, 75 miles per hour uphill and stuff like that, up in the passes. And my truck, my 1500, sometimes with a truck camper and everything like that, does struggle going uphill. But when I'm in lower elevation, like 4,000, 5,000 feet elevation, it pulls in the same grade, no problem. It's the same thing with the CRF300L Rally. When I bring it out on those elevations and stuff like that, it's kind of, to me, the 300cc engine defeated the purpose whatsoever on at least the state of Colorado, my situation. And that's kind of why I never said I hate the Rally. I guess the correct term, why I hate the Rally, because of the situation I am in. That probably would have been the correct term.
So when it comes to the CRF300L versus the Rally, both felt great when it came to off-roading. Both felt nimble and the closest thing to a dirt bike. However, when it comes to the Rally versus the normal Dualsport, I might make a separate video another day displaying the differences. But this video is to clear up my past video and to explain why I prefer the normal Dualsport versus the Rally. So why did I pick the normal Dualsport versus the Rally? Well, to me, the Rally was still kind of useless in my state since Colorado is actually a high-speed state, meaning most roads are about 75 to 80 miles per hour. When I took the Rally on a highway test, yes, it was incredibly comfortable, more so than the 701 Enduro, believe it or not. However, the power was not enough for me to sustain 75 to even 80 miles per hour in our elevation when it came to headwinds and uphill grades. And for some reason, people love to tailgate in Colorado, which would put me in harm's way. So in other words, the 300cc engine defeated the Rally concept for my own current situation, which made absolutely no sense for me to pick the Rally. So then, why did I get the normal Dualsport then if it was still a 300cc engine then?
Well, one of the reasons I like the CRF300L, the normal Dualsport, is I like vlogging, of course. I like exploring places. I'm not in it for the speed all the time. I like doing hard enduro races and stuff like that. But when it comes out to like exploring and vlogging, this two-stroke is too loud. Like when it starts revving, it starts becoming way too loud and I can't really talk. When I test rode the Rally and the normal CRF300 Dualsport, by far I felt like the CRF300, the normal Dualsport, just felt like it was much better on the off-road stuff. Especially like, you know, this is slow single track, like a 17-inch wheel CB500X or GS1200 BMW can do this no problem. So of course, without a doubt, the Rally can do this with no problem at all. But I more emphasize towards off-road riding. And I want the Reserve to go a little bit faster if I want to, do gnarlier terrain. Woo! I can smell that two-stroke smoke. Man, you're on that pipe. That injector just starts injecting that piston with a bunch of oil. You can just really...
When I decided to go with the normal CRF300 Dualsport, by far it had very familiar feeling of it being a dirt bike right away. Sure, the suspensions were too plush for my taste, but with stiffer springs that would definitely improve the issue. Now the CRF300 being a 300 engine, it had very good low end and can still get to speed pretty quickly when it came to off-roading. And believe it or not, its heavier weight made it more stable at higher speeds when it came to the flowy stuff and much more comfortable for a longer day's ride and exploration. Sometimes I just prefer to explore and enjoy the scenery, and not hit full speed for an adrenaline rush. However, the CRF300 is more than capable of doing so. And not to mention, the CRF300 Dualsport felt a little bit more nimble off-roading versus the Rally. And although I did not drop either machine during its test ride, I am sure the Rally would be a bit more of a struggle to pick up in awkward situations. Not to mention, when it comes to exploring, the CRF300 Dualsport is by far much more comfortable than any two-stroke.
Same thing as the CRF Rally. I mean, they're both great exploring machines, but sometimes you might find yourself on rocky trails like this and you kind of want that low-end grunt, you know. The CRF300L, I felt like it was more controllable power, if that kind of makes sense. Thing is, like when we're doing trails like this right over here, I honestly prefer the the lighter Dualsports. I mean, it just feels so much lighter, and it's easier to control, easier to maneuver. But you know, on these rocky stuff right over here, of course, a two-stroke is more ideal.
One of the other reasons is actually weight. Being in Colorado, I love exploring new trails, and sometimes I need to camp out for a few days, meaning I have the weight of the truck camper. But the biggest thing for me is my dirt bike hitch. The carrier is actually a little bit extended, so it puts a little bit less of a load on the tongue if I were to buy the Rally. Anyhow guys, I definitely have the CRF300L normal Dualsport reserved. I'm just waiting for it to arrive, so be sure to subscribe, hit that bell button. That way once the CRF300L arrives, I can go ahead, take it out on the trails, but I'm highly interested how it's going to do on the higher elevation trail systems and single track. So be sure to hit that bell button so you guys can get updated, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.